My name is Mike Waddington, and I'm a criminal defense attorney. In our job defending service members, we talk with and deal with a lot of parents. We end up fielding a lot of the same questions, so we decided to make a video that answers some of the questions that parents have. So first of all, I'm just going to start with some basic stuff. If you're accused of a crime and you're in the military, they are not just going to do some short investigation and thank you for your service and then drop the case. If it involves sexual assault, sexual harassment, or anything of a sexual nature, if you're being accused of anything sexual, they're going to go after your son. And I'm just going to say son because 99.9% of the calls that we get are from men or parents of men, young men and older men, that are being accused of sexual type crime, sexual harassment.
If you like our content, like and click subscribe below.
Your son may be 100% innocent. They may be 100% guilty. They may be somewhere in between. They may be being falsely accused. Blatantly falsely accused. When that happens, they're coming after your son with one objective: to put him in jail if possible. And if they can't do that, they will try to put him out of the service. They see it as like a bad apple. We're getting rid of the bad apples, whether we can prove it or not. You were accused, you're a bad apple, you're out of our service. And they will try to give them the worst discharge possible. The government's looking at it from one perspective: guilty until proven innocent. We will gather whatever evidence we can to prove that your son is guilty. And we will do whatever we can and get away with as much as we can, bending the rules as much as we can to get a conviction. Why? Why would someone do that to your son? That's another question we get asked all the time. How could they do this to my son? Well, they don't see your son as, little Johnny, your 18-year-old or 23-year-old that just graduated from West Point or RTC or just fresh out of basic training. They see him as a predator and as a statistic. They don't even call your son by their name. And you'll see that if you end up in a court martial, God forbid. They'll call your son the accused, they'll call him predator, they'll call him the defendant. They never look him in the eye, they never shake his hand, because they have to vilify that person in their mind because it helps them do their job and because some of them truly believe it. Why would they do that? How could they say that about my son? They don't care about your son. They truly do not care. As soon as you admit that and you realize you're fighting with someone who doesn't care, that sees your son as a piece of meat, as a piece of trash, that they're going to lock up in prison, and for the rest of their life they'll be telling people when they go out to the civilian world about how they locked up a bunch of sex offenders and predators, some of whom are probably innocent.
It's easier to prosecute someone, whether they're guilty or innocent, if you see them as subhuman.
If you see them as subhuman, like alleged rapists and pedophiles and predators and all those names, it is easier to treat them as a piece of dirt, like an animal, if you convince yourself that this person is truly a guilty sicko that needs to be in jail. Because imagine if you looked at it the other way. Imagine you looked at it and you said, wait a minute, what if this guy didn't do it? This alleged victim has a motive. She's lied in the past. This guy dumped her. She caught him with his new girlfriend. Whatever the story is, if you start going down that path, it becomes very difficult to prosecute someone ethically and morally and to be able to sleep at night. No one's going to say that they prosecuted innocent men for career advancement. Nobody will. I've never met someone that would do that. Next, all lawyers are not created equal. A lot of parents, when they're trying to defend their son, they make a couple mistakes, in my opinion. Whoever answers the phone first and has the cheapest retainer, they retain them. Another big mistake that I think parents make is they just call random people that they found on the internet without doing their homework. You need to do your homework. You need to vet people. You need to get out there and do some research on who's been doing this consistently for years. What are people saying about them? That's why you have to look at multiple facets of the defense lawyer you're looking into. You have to use your common sense and look to be like, okay, who else says that? How long has this person been doing it? Where did they go to school? What was their background? You have to really do a thorough background search into the attorney. If you need to vet someone, you should talk to them on the phone and figure out a little bit of who they are, how well you guys click, because once you give them that retainer, and you're going to stick with that lawyer throughout the trial, even if they're not that good.